Hi everyone, and welcome to the Aries June 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that we are going to be taking a look at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome this month so that you can better engage with your unique spirit, that part of yourself that rises up to meet the challenge. And this is all so that you can better understand and see your own heroic abilities, which in turn will help you better be able to experience your purpose and see your path, and eventually really get into that place of understanding what emotional fulfillment means for you. So, Aries, first of all, I want to say to everybody who is both new and returning, thank you so much for watching this video. And for those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your continued support of my channel. I really greatly appreciate that. Now, as I'm sitting here pulling out the first cards, I will let everybody know that on my website, I do have one new service listed. It is a one-time ask a question, $25 reading, and that is up and live now for those of you who are interested. Also, there is a extended for this video. So at the end, if you are interested in kind of diving deeper, I pull clarifiers for all the cards on the table, and we get a few additional messages, and you can click on the link in the description box below to view the Vimeo video for this if you are interested. All right, so Aries, okay. Now, Aries, I feel like you got similar cards last month. Ooh, Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so let's jump right in here. You are sitting with the energy. You're entering the month of June with the energy of basically looking to make a decision as to where do you go from this point. I think some of you are in this place of maybe you've come either to truly a crossroads, or maybe you have two decisions. You can go kind of this way or that way, or you're kind of taking a look more at the bigger picture of your life, of saying, at this point, with all of the information that I have, where can I go? Which direction will best suit who I am in this moment, with all of the experience, with everything that I've gone through up to this point. As I look to make a decision now, where am I going from here? Where am I putting my time and my energy? With the Two of Wands, there's that feeling of also really directing yourself from a place of connecting to passion as well, taking action from a connection to what you're passionate about. And with the individual here holding the globe in his hand, there's this feeling of really being able to kind of size up that feeling of being able, I'm trying to see if I can find the words for it, really being able to see the broader view of, I think, more opportunities for yourself than perhaps you had originally anticipated. But in kind of doing this internal review, taking a look to the horizon and seeing, I think, the bigger picture for yourself, there is going to be something, because in your external environment, we have the Eight of Cups. And so there is going to be something that you are going to be walking away from, that you're realizing is no longer emotionally fulfilling for you. And generally, when we have to make a decision here, when we have to kind of do this whole, well, where do I go from this point? As we walk towards something new, we have to turn our back on something, on either another choice or something that has already been. Meaning we could keep doing the same thing and get what we got, or we can make the choice to do something new and try a new route if we're not happy with the results of what we're currently sitting with. And for some of you, the Eight of Cups here really does speak to no longer feeling emotionally fulfilled by something that currently is in your life. And there's this element of realizing it's time for me to walk away. Yes, I might have invested quite a bit of my emotional energy into something, but I'm not getting the return on that investment. And therein lies the opportunity. So for this month, as you are engaging with the challenge that we're going to be taking a look at more in just a minute, what you're learning about yourself, and this is actually beautiful, the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords underneath the Ace of Pentacles. This is where you're realizing where you've been holding yourself back. the truth, the clarity that comes. And that in and of itself is going to be the opportunity. So you're going to really be able to see on a heroic level where, when we think of pentacles are our physical experience. This is the tangible side to what the tarot cards represent. So this can be, again, our time, our energy, our money, and any other type of physical resource. And what often can happen for ourselves when we are kind of just going along in our lives, and we're, doing what we need to do, building what we need to build, taking the steps forward that we need to do, we can get to this place where we get to a point where we can kind of grow and expand, but we hold ourselves back because we fear that if we do have to invest a little something of what we have, we will lose that stability. And that will end up actually kind of, again, it's a poverty mindset of, instead of realizing that there are certain times in our experience that we're going to have to invest a little bit more of something that we have. And again, it doesn't have to just be money. This could be literally investing more of your time towards something, or more energy, or this could be, again, some other type of physical allocation of something that you have towards something else. And we can get to this point, instead of getting excited about, wow, I get a chance to invest a little bit of the stability that I have now into growing my experience, into allowing that a little bit of this investment might elevate something, might lead me to another opportunity, might allow me to level up in some way. We cling to that stability. And I think for some of you, you're realizing with the Ace of Swords coming in that there's some level of, okay, I see. I see where I've been clinging to something, and I think you're going to realize that it's time to give in a little, to invest a little, and again, create the opportunity for yourself. So let's actually see what this challenge is for you guys. So what's going to kind of lead you to this aha moment of, that's where, and again, this is all kind of tied directly to helping you make that decision and really seeing where you are holding yourself back from investing. It's going to help you realize, wait a second, if I do want to invest now, where is that going to take me? And it's going to take you away from something that has not been emotionally fulfilling for some time, I think, Aries. All right, okay, we'll take these right off the bat. Oh, okay, the Tower and the Sun. Wow. Ooh, heavy, some big heavy hitters right out the gate here, Aries. So the Tower is in your main challenge position, and Tower's a powerful energy. It can be a disruptive energy, but it's a liberating energy as well. It's when something in our external environment has been taken away or been brought down. This can be when a relationship ends out of the blue. This can be when the business we worked at for 25 years suddenly closes or lays us off. This can be even sometimes, just a revelation that we have where everything kind of comes to that, where everything kind of falls away for us and we see things in a new way. But the beauty of it is that this is what happens when basically we've been sitting in this energy too long, when we've been kind of wanting to make a decision, we have to take action towards something new, and we are not doing it. When we are holding ourselves back from doing that. And basically what we're doing at that point is holding ourselves back from forward growth. And Spirit then has to come in and say, I know you're clinging to stability. I mean, that's also what the Four of Pentacles can represent. We know you're clinging to something that at one point had created a level of security in your life. But now, unfortunately, it's what was once a safe and secure place for you has now become a prison. And we need to liberate you from that. And so what's beautiful with this, though, is with the Sun coming out afterwards. Normally, so in the tarot, the Tower is followed by the Star card, which is the Tower comes down and we're able to then look up, see the night sky, and reconnect with a great hope, dream, or passion that we've been holding ourselves back from. Instead, you guys have the Sun that's coming out. And so there's this feeling of almost a much more powerful energy of realization. When we think of the star, it's at night and it's kind of more of a soft, gentle realization. For some of you, this is like the harsh light of day. Like you've been in a dark room for a long time and suddenly the walls come down. It's the sunniest, brightest day you can possibly have. And it's like, oh my gosh, you realize suddenly how much you've been holding yourself back, I think, from seeing in your experience. And that's really represented by the globe. It's almost like suddenly you see how much more beyond your current experience is out there for you to tap into. And you also get a chance to see yourself. There's this feeling here of really being able to see your, almost like your internal child, your inner child, and realizing I've been kind of neglecting this part of myself. I saw a card flip over here. Pretty sure it was the Page of Wands. I want to see. Where is this? How strange. Sorry, guys. I don't want to deny you a card if it's flipped over, but I guess it flipped back. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll see if the Page of Wands comes out again. That's so strange. I swear I saw it flip over. Okay, well, let's see. What is your final card here? But where the Tower energy can become a challenge. I mean, obviously it's a challenge in and of itself to face this major change, to face this kind of unexpected, I can feel like an unexpected blow a little bit, where something's kind of come out of left field. And even though, what's interesting is I find that often when the Tower comes in, when we are describing our Tower moment to others outside of ourselves, many people will sit there and say, well, yeah, but you needed to leave that job. You complained about it for 10 years about how much you hated it. Or people will come and say, yeah, but aren't you better for getting out of that relationship? That person was horrible to you. It's almost like everybody else sees the decision or the change that needed to happen except for you, because you were in it, because you were, your view was being hidden by the Tower. But now the blinders are off. And so this can be where the main challenge is really kind of getting our bearings after this, getting to that place of like, oh my gosh, I went through this shakeup on, all levels, on a physical level, on an emotional level, on a mental level. And now I really have to, now I'm standing out here in the bright light of day, seeing everything truly for what it is. And I'm realizing in this moment, holy cow, something does need to change. And what you're being asked to help you through this is at the heart of your reading, the King of Pentacles. It's a beautiful energy to have. It's one of basically the master manifester. The King of Pentacles knows exactly where to put his time and energy. He will invest, and he is able to really be able to manifest physical abundance for himself. So you're being asked to really harness this energy to allow you to kind of get out of this limiting mindset of, no, I have these little resources and I can't give anymore. I can't invest anymore. And this is all, there's also this feeling of this is all I'm capable of for some of you, which is interesting. That's a really strong feeling coming through. And I think that that's also part of, as you experience this, what's being unlocked for yourself to see is, holy cow, look at my ability with even being locked in the Tower for all this time and kind of being sheltered in a way where I wasn't able to see the bigger picture for myself. I was still able to create what I have now in the physical. And I kind of feel for some of you, you guys have quite a bit to be very proud of that you have earned and manifested for yourself, and maybe having given yourself that credit. And now there's this feeling of really giving yourself that credit, of leaning into this energy and saying, damn, if I could, again, with the limited perspective I had before, have what I have now and made what I made at this point, well, then now that the towers come down and I have the sunlight and I can see everything and all the opportunities, well, shoot, what can't I create for myself? What can't I dedicate my time and energy to get the reward back? And that really is going to be, again, that kind of aha moment of, holy cow, I'm actually quite a bit better at manifesting than the average person. And it's time now for me to really do something with that. Do something, whether this could be, again, some money that you saved. Perhaps you were sitting here, hoarding away what little bit of money you had. And even though you felt like you weren't making a ton of money and you weren't maybe an emotionally fulfilling job, hey, now you're sitting on a nest egg, though, of 20K. And suddenly you're realizing, wow, most people who make 3 times as much as me don't have this kind of savings. It's one of those kinds of realizations. And now that I can see that I have so many other job opportunities, wow, what could I do if I did have a job that made 3 times as much? How much more could I save? What else could I do? And then this is where you realize, okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invest a little bit of my nest egg into taking that course that's going to help me level up and get that promotion at work. Or now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to invest my time into applying to new places and to brushing up on my resume and maybe hiring a coach that can help me be able to interview better. And that's, again, where you're creating the opportunity for yourself for new growth and to be able to really add to the abundance you already have for yourself. This could also be, too, where you're looking at the abundance you have just around you. Maybe you've created an abundant physical environment and you're really realizing, wow, I've created this amazing home and I've decorated it wonderfully and people like to come over to it, and I haven't even, maybe you haven't been allowing people to come enjoy your home. You haven't been inviting people to come stay with you. And now it's time to realize, wow, look at all that I have. Actually, I have this beautiful place that people would love to stay in, and now I need to invest my time and energy into bringing the people here, into enjoying the home life that I've created for myself. But there's this element of really being freed by the tower to step into this role of master manifester. Now, on the other side of this, we have the Hierophant and the Two of Pentacles. And the Hierophant is a card that really speaks to the rules, the structures, the things that we choose to follow. Whether these are societal norms, whether these are government institutions, whether these are just the laws of the land that we live in. But this can also be the things that we hold ourselves to internally. And I think for some of you, by realizing your own capabilities of what you can do, even in a very kind of dark and limiting environment, you're going to realize where maybe you've held yourself back because of something that you thought you had to do, or it had to be done in this way, or that you held yourself accountable to something like, I'm not a quitter. This would be like holding yourself to a perspective of anybody who walks away from a job before being there for 10 years is a quitter. So I'm going to stick it out, because that's something I adhere to. And this is where I think some of you are going to have this little bit of an internal realization moment of, wait a second, I get to make the rules for my life. And, the Hierophants come out quite a bit for the signs this month. And I think it's because we're all being asked a little bit to review that. With Saturn going retrograde this month, there is that element of really kind of reevaluating the structures we have put in place for ourselves and the structures that others have put in place for us to have to follow and maintain. And so there is something here around really taking a look at the structures you are choosing to follow and realizing that sometimes those things can change. Maybe you don't have to do it this way. Maybe you've been limiting yourself and now it's time for you to have a broader view. And you see here too, this is the High Priest. He has a broader view. It's time to tap into the highest part of this energy, which is having that foresight to see down the road for yourself. And that's where the structure comes from, seeing the bigger picture and realizing, oh, well, if I follow these rules that I've been following, I'm never going to achieve that bigger picture. So something has to change. Now, the Two of Pentacles is in your final challenge position. And this is where we can get to that place of kind of getting lost in the day-to-day shuffle. This is where we're just kind of going through the motions. We're juggling a little bit of those tasks. And it's where we also know that we need to make a decision, where we need to prioritize something specific in our life. We need to prioritize this new opportunity, the fresh seed. But we're in a place of, yes, but how can I put time and energy towards something when I'm having to do all these little day-to-day things? I'm having to take care of the kids. I'm having to go to work. I'm having to, clean my house and plan for somebody coming into town, things like that. Where then we start to kind of get into the world of excuses of, yeah, I really understand what I'm capable of, and I really do want to invest now in something, and I see a bigger picture for myself. I see that decision I want to make, and I know what doesn't feel right for me anymore. I know what I don't care about anymore. I know what no longer fulfills me. But I can't make it. I can't make this decision. I can't make this decision. I can't start to invest because there's just too much going on in my life. There's just too much. There's no way I can dedicate myself to this new opportunity. And this is where Spirit's really asking you to realize sometimes we think something's going to be harder than it is, meaning that we think that if we have to make this career change or we have to level up in some aspect of our experience, that it's going to just add to the juggling. Where instead, when we become more focused and we realize that life isn't about just trying to get as much done in one day as possible. It's about realizing that we don't know how many days we have left in our experience. And even those of us who will live to 100 years old, when you think about how many days that really equates to, it's not really a lot. And this is where we get that chance to really step into the energy of, even in the small tasks that I choose to do day to day, there is an importance of being present and aware as I'm doing them, and to realize I don't have to get everything done. I don't have to have a giant checklist every day and cross every one of those things off. This is where, when I start to become more present in what I'm doing, and I start to prioritize just, again, one little task at a time that is starting to grow something I have, starting to again, build on something I've already amassed for myself. Whether, again, this is a physical location, you can start to capitalize on the home space that you have, or capitalize on the little nest egg you've saved, or capitalize even on maybe the education you've just provided for yourself. Maybe some of you are coming out of, getting some training or something of that nature. And again, you're realizing, wow, I actually have a lot more than a lot of people do. And I kind of haven't taken my head up to breathe, to see that there's something here about realizing you're the King of Pentacles. You get to determine what has value, where you put your time, your energy, your resources, and how important is one over the other. Meaning, if you have a choice between doing two tasks, which one is going to reap the most benefits for yourself, and to let the other one go. I think this is more about changing a perspective, Aries, about you have to do everything. It's weird. I'm getting a very intuitive message that you have to please everybody, or do everybody else's job, or do 3 times as much as the average person, because you can do that. Because Aries, you have that ability to really have that fire and to just go, go, go. But that can burn you out, right? You're being asked to adopt earth energy. And when you think about fire with earth, well, earth, will actually a lot of times put out a fire. And so with all this pentacle energy here, I think there's a lot of that grounding coming through, of kind of tempering yourself, bringing yourself down to realize I don't have to just kind of fire my way forward and burn myself out. I can do it slow and steady and methodically. The King of Pentacles harnesses the energy of Taurus. And Taurus is an energy of being slow and methodical. And yes, they'll still get the job done, but they'll do it in a way that is less exhausting in the moment. So there's something here about kind of getting the stamina together, releasing structures that have held you back, and realizing that you don't have to do it all every day. You just have to do what's important to you and this new opportunity. And that's what's going to help you make the decision. Again, starting to clarify, this is the way I want to go, and these are the steps I want to take. Slow and steady wins the race, and slow and steady is going to take you away from what's no longer emotionally fulfilling towards ultimately a a heart's wish and then an ultimate heart's fulfillment, because that's what comes after the Eight of Cups. All right, so Aries, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull 3 additional cards, where we're going to take a look at the concepts of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. And this is where we're going to get a chance to see where Spirit, with curiosity, where Spirit would like us to stay open and curious to for the month of June, to really help us engage with that unknown aspect of our experience that I like to refer to as the spiritual side to, again, what we experience in our lifetime. So what does Aries need to know about where they need to stay open and curious to? Something I always like to say, that curiosity helps open us up to miracles we would otherwise miss. Because often we are so closed off to being curious like a child that we miss the things that don't seem to fit into what we know. So let's see, where does Aries need to stay open and curious? Okay. Sorry, guys. I like to have the cards come out naturally, but if one doesn't come out, this is awfully quiet. I will choose one. All right. 2 more shuffles and I'll choose one. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. We got quite a bit here. Okay, Aries. So we have 3 cards. We have the 5th chakra, Archangel Gabriel, 39 breaking down to a 12, further breaking down to a 3. This is all about the throat chakra, which is interesting because actually Taurus harnesses, it rules the throat. We have Angel of Balance, number 48, also breaking down to a 12 and a 3. Interesting. And then we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, number 41, breaking down to a 5, the number of change. And this is, the 7th chakra is our crown chakra. This is where we get divine downloads. So there's something here about, with the 2 number 12s coming in and breaking down to number 3, there's an element of really embracing, kind of greeting the world with the innocence of a child. And additionally, there's an element of divine timing coming through with that as well. But with the 5th chakra, I think for some of you, there's something that needs to be expressed. And there's look, when I look at the Angel of Love between these 2 cards, there's an element of expression with the throat chakra, and there's the element of getting downloads. And I think for some of you, you kind of need to be curious as to perhaps where that balance point. So when we're thinking about being curious, we're opening ourselves up to what we don't know. And I think there's a level of understanding, balancing communication with also quiet time to get those downloads. And I think there's another aspect here with, where can you start to express from a place of where these downloads are coming from? Meaning that, how can you, and it's interesting because Mercury has been retrograde for quite some time, and at the beginning of this month will go direct again. And so there's almost this feeling of really kind of using your words, Aries, being able to communicate the forward vision for yourself, and also the confidence that you have in your own abilities and what you've amassed so far. There is this feeling of needing to, it can't just be all in your head, and it can't just be all verbalizing. It's almost like you need to really communicate from the place of the realization, from the place of the sun, which is that aha moment. It is the divine interruption, the divine light switch being turned on. And to be curious as to where, when you start to communicate from this new kind of realization about yourself, where this is going to take you. Where is the opportunity going to come in for you based on you communicating from this place of personal confidence in yourself, what you can create, your long-term vision, and the choice you want to make for yourself as to where you want to go from here, and to be open as to what that can bring in when you courageously express from this place. Okay. So let's go ahead, and I'm also hearing what you know is meant to be shared. That's interesting. So for a very few select viewers of this, for some of you may be actually sitting with possibly that could be the decision you're trying to make here, is sharing what you have with others, whether this is sharing your actual physical resources, whether this is sharing actually your experience and you're thinking about getting into like a teaching position, something along those lines. But there is something about sharing with others your ability to manifest. And again, this maybe you're an interior designer or something like that, where maybe you decorated your home beautifully, but now it's time to show others, to teach others, to express from that place of showing what you can do and speaking it, again, kind of bringing it to the forefront. Very interesting. Okay, so we have surrender obsessive thinking. It says, if you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. So this is for courage. This is where spirit's asking you to be courageous and taking action this month. And I like that in order for you to help kind of gather that courage to make the decisions, to take action on your own behalf, and to really, I think, stop holding yourself back from something that you know needs to be expressed, and therein, again, creating the opportunity for yourself. Maybe this is where you're worried. You're like, oh my gosh, like I really want to invest this nest egg I have in something. How is it going to happen? And going over all of these, kind of obsessive, maybe even negative thoughts of like, if I do invest, what's going to happen? And if I, what if I try to buy that house or move to this location or whatever it is, buy that fancy car I've been wanting for so long, that, what if I can't make the money back? What if this is a stupid investment? What if people don't like my type of interior decorating? Whatever it is. This is saying, let that go. Focus on the day-to-day, on the small tasks, on what you can control. Focus on walking towards what you want for yourself and what connects to your passion and what takes you away from what's no longer emotionally fulfilling. And allow the rest to come into place. Allow spirit to help you manifest. Don't obsessively think about it. Instead, start to just express it and take the steps towards, again, taking the small steps, making that small investment of time and energy. And therein, that opportunity I think you're hoping for to happen, it will come in on its own. But just because you are actually taking action towards it, because you've turned your focus towards it. Okay, now we're going to pull a card here for the concept of contemplation. And this is where Spirit would like you to stay reflective for the month of June. So a final message here to kind of keep in mind as you move through the month, to really keep you in your headspace, keep you connected to something that's going to really help you have the courage to kind of stop holding yourself back so that you can make that decision for yourself. Ooh, that is way too many cards. Just one or two, please. Spirit, this is trying to get as concise of a reading as possible. Okay, what does Aries need to know about where they should reflect this month? And again, I apologize for those of you who don't want to sit and wait this out, but again, I do like the cards to come out naturally. But if they don't, all right, I'm going to pull one for you, unfortunately. That feels right. All right. Oh, and two came out anyways. Okay, so let's see here. We have transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing, and priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? Interesting, because that's really kind of almost getting to the feeling that I had coming through here, which is there's something that you're being asked to share, something that you've been divinely gifted with, which is what the seventh chakra is all about. The downloads that we get that end up becoming our seeds of our heroic abilities. You're being asked now to share that, to express that, it's almost like you can't keep hoarding all of that. It's time now to go out and share it with others. And to a certain extent, to step up into a leadership position. And I think some of you haven't realized with the transformation coming through, that things are changing at a cellular level, that you have changed quite a bit, Aries. And the person that I think you're seeing now with the tower coming down, the person who you are now out in the world is somebody very different than the person who initially went into the tower. And I think that's the bigger realization here is just how powerful you really are, Aries. How much you have done for yourself in probably what was very, again, challenging and limiting environment. And now realizing something isn't working, something isn't fulfilling, and it's time to make the change, make the decision, invest what you have to invest, and start to share this part of yourself with the world. Start to share some level of abundance you have created. Your gifts, your talents, something that you have that can be manifested and realized in the physical. It's time to start to share that, to invest it, and to, again, allow that to provide you with the opportunity for something new and to help you make that decision of, okay, this is where I go from here. All right, Aries, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. I wish you all a month of clarity. With the Ace of Swords coming in and the Sun, there really is this level of, I think, getting to that place of internal clarity and really seeing, again, the power that you have, your manifestation capabilities, and really leaning into that with faith. And that's what's going to help you get over the fear of not wanting to invest something of yourself. But I do hope that you all have the courage to do so. And if you would like to, again, watch the extended for this, you can go ahead and join me over there. Again, I'll be pulling cards for additional clarifiers for all of these cards. I will also be pulling cards for the theme of romantic love. And then I will be pulling a final card for the overarching message for the month. But if I don't see you over there, I look forward to seeing you all next month for July's Illumination reading. Bye, Aries.